The moment my father roared, "Get out of this house and never come back, you're dead to us now." While my mother sobbed into her hands and turned her back on me, I knew the family I had known for 25 years was gone forever. All because I had finally told them the truth. I was in love with a woman named Mila, and nothing in this world was going to change that. I stood there in the marble foyer of our sprawling Los Angeles home, suitcase already packed at my feet, heart hammering so hard I thought it would crack my ribs. Dad's face was purple with rage. The same face that had closed million-dollar real estate deals and commanded boardrooms for decades. Mom wouldn't even look at me. My younger brother Alex shifted uncomfortably by the grand staircase, eyes darting between us like he wanted to speak but knew better. "You're throwing away everything we gave you for that?" Dad spat the word like poison. "A woman? After all the sacrifices? The private schools, the trust fund, the future we planned? You're choosing sin over blood, Brooke." I swallowed the lump in my throat. "I'm choosing love, Dad. Real love. The kind that doesn't come with conditions." Mom finally lifted her tear-streaked face. "We raised you better. The church, the community, they'll never accept this. You'll be alone. And when you come crawling back, the door will be locked." The words sliced deeper than any knife. I had rehearsed this moment for months, practicing in front of mirrors, whispering to Mila on late-night calls. But nothing prepared me for the finality of it. They didn't just disagree, they erased me. Right there in the house I grew up in, with family photos still smiling down from the walls. I picked up my suitcase, the wheels clicking loudly on the tile like gunshots. I won't crawl back. Not ever. The door slammed behind me before I reached the end of the driveway. I didn't look back. Mila's apartment in Silver Lake was small, cozy, nothing like the mansion I'd just left. But the second she opened the door and pulled me into her arms, the weight on my chest eased a fraction. Her blonde hair smelled like vanilla and safety. "They really did it," I whispered against her shoulder. She held me tighter. "Then we built something better. Together." That night we sat on her tiny balcony under string lights, wine glasses in hand, and I told her every brutal detail. Mila listened without interrupting, her lawyer mind already turning over facts like evidence. She was 28, sharp as a blade in the courtroom, soft as silk with me. We'd met 6 months earlier at a charity gala for LGBTQ+ youth. Ironic, given my family's conservative donor status. One conversation about wrongful evictions turned into coffee, then dinner, then everything. I had fallen fast and hard and she had caught me. But now the safety net was gone. No more monthly allowance. No trust fund access. No safety net of the Harrison family name. I was just Brooke Harrison, unemployed marketing coordinator with a suitcase and a broken heart. The next morning my phone blew up with texts from friends who had already heard. Some offered pity. Others quoted Bible verses. A few simply stopped replying. The social media posts from my mother's circle were worse, vague but vicious, painting me as the ungrateful daughter who chose lifestyle over legacy. I deleted the apps and cried in Mila's shower until the water ran cold. By the end of week 1, reality hit harder than the disownment. My boss at the agency called me in for an emergency meeting. He fidgeted behind his desk, avoiding my eyes. "We're restructuring, Brooke. Budget cuts. You understand." I understood perfectly. Someone had made a call. My family's influence stretched further than I realized. I walked out with a severance check that wouldn't last 2 months and the sickening knowledge that love had cost me my entire world. Mila came home that evening with takeout Thai and a fierce determination in her eyes. "We fight back," she said, setting plates on the coffee table. "Not with money, with truth. You're not alone anymore." I wanted to believe her. But as I lay awake that night listening to her steady breathing, the old voices whispered louder than ever. What if they were right? What if I had destroyed everything for a feeling that might not survive the real world? The doubt was just beginning. 3 weeks later the doubt had grown teeth. I spent my days scrolling job boards in Mila's living room while she prepped for court cases that paid our rent. Every rejection email felt like another door slammed by my last name. Mila never complained. She cooked, listened, held me when nightmares of my mother's tears woke me at 3 a.m. But I saw the extra hours she logged at the firm, the way she checked her bank app when she thought I wasn't looking. Love wasn't free and I was the expensive bill. One Thursday evening my phone rang. "Alex, I almost didn't answer. Brooke, it's me. Mom's been crying every night. Dad's pretending nothing happened, but the house is like a tomb. His voice cracked. Just call them. Say you made a mistake. They'll forgive you. Forgive me. As if loving Mila was a crime that needed absolution. I didn't make a mistake, I said quietly. I fell in love. That's not a mistake. He sighed. You're killing them. And for what? Some woman you barely know. Mila's not some woman. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. The call ended with him muttering he'd tried. I stared at the dark screen until Mila wrapped her arms around me from behind. They'll keep trying, she murmured. That's what families like yours do. Wear you down until you break. She spoke from experience. Mila's own parents had cut ties when she came out at 19. She'd worked 2 jobs through law school, built her career from nothing. Now she was a rising star at one of the city's top firms, specializing in financial litigation. I admired her strength even as I envied it. That weekend we drove to the beach to escape the pressure. We walked barefoot along the shore, waves licking our ankles, and for a few hours the world felt possible again. Mila stopped, turned me to face her, and brushed sand from my cheek. I love you, Brooke Harrison. Not the trust fund version. The real one. The fighter. I kissed her then, slow and certain, tasting salt and hope. A few beachgoers smiled. Others looked away. Small victories. But Monday brought fresh hell. My mother's best friend posted a group photo from the country club. Everyone except me, captioned "Real family sticks together." The comments were a bloodbath. I deleted the post from my mind but couldn't delete the ache. That night I asked Mila the question I'd been avoiding. What if they're right? What if I'm selfish for choosing us? She took my hands. Love isn't selfish. Staying in a cage to keep them comfortable is. You're allowed to be happy, Brooke. Even if it costs everything. Her words should have comforted me. Instead they planted a new seed of guilt. As I still loved my family. I missed Sunday brunches and Dad's terrible jokes and Mom's gardenias. The hole they left was shaped exactly like them. Mila saw it. She always saw everything. 2 days later my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. We know where you are. This isn't over. I showed Mila. Her jaw tightened. The lawyer face I rarely saw at home. They're escalating, she said. Let them. We have truth on our side. I didn't ask how she knew so much about leverage and power plays. I was too busy trying to hold myself together. The pressure was building and I had no idea how close we were to the breaking point. The breaking point arrived in an envelope delivered by courier, thick, cream-colored, embossed with my father's company logo. Inside was a single sheet. A formal letter terminating my health insurance, revoking my name from any family trusts, and reminding me that any attempt to contact extended relatives would be met with legal action. I read it twice then laughed. A hollow broken sound that scared even me. Mila took the paper from my shaking hands and scanned it with professional calm. They're trying to starve you out, she said. Classic move. Cut off resources, isolate, wait for surrender. I sank onto the couch. It's working. I applied to 20 jobs this week. Nothing. My savings are gone. I'm dragging you down with me. She knelt in front of me. You are not dragging me anywhere. I chose this. I choose you every single day. But I saw the exhaustion in her eyes. She had taken on extra pro bono cases to cover our bills while still billing 80 hours a week at the firm. Her boss had started asking pointed questions about personal distractions. That evening I overheard her on the phone in the kitchen, low voice, clipped tones. Yes, I understand the conflict of interest policy. No, it won't affect my performance. When she hung up I asked who it was. She hesitated just a second too long. Work. Nothing to worry about. I let it go. I had enough worries. The next confrontation came from Alex in person. He showed up at our building unannounced, looking like he hadn't slept. Dad's having chest pains. Mom won't eat. They're saying if you don't come home and fix this, they'll sell the lake house, the one Grandma left you in her will. I stared at my little brother, the boy I used to build forts with. They're using Grandma's memory as a weapon? He shifted. They're desperate, Brooke. Just meet them halfway. Say you'll go to counseling or something. Mila stepped out onto the landing behind me. arms crossed. Counseling to cure her of being gay? That's not how it works, Alex. He flinched at her tone. You don't understand what you're doing to this family. I understand exactly, she said quietly. I've lived it. Alex left without another word. That night the nightmares returned, Mom's face, Dad's voice, the slamming door on repeat. I woke gasping. Mila pulled me close. Tell me what you need, she whispered. Time, I answered. And maybe a miracle. The miracle arrived disguised as disaster. The disaster came in the form of a late-night knock. 2 men in suits stood outside our door. Private investigators, they said. Hired by Harrison Properties. They handed me a folder and left without another word. Inside were photos. Me and Mila at the beach. At the grocery store. Even one of us kissing goodnight on the balcony. And beneath them a typed note. End it or we release these to every board member, every client, every church group your mother supports. Your choice. I felt sick. Mila read the note over my shoulder, and something shifted in her expression. Cold, calculating, the courtroom mask sliding into place. They just made their first mistake, she said. She disappeared into the bedroom and returned with her laptop. For the next hour she typed furiously, cross-referencing documents I couldn't see. When she finally closed the lid, her hands were steady but her eyes burned. I need to tell you something, she said. And it's going to change everything. I waited, heart in my throat. I've been your family's corporate counsel for 2 years. Harrison Properties is my biggest client. Offshore accounts, creative accounting, tax structures that walk right up to the line of illegal. I know every secret they have, because I helped bury them. The room tilted. You what? I didn't know you were their daughter when we met, she said quickly. The gala was the first time I saw your name on the guest list. By then I was already falling in love. I planned to tell you after we were solid, but the timing, God, Brooke, the timing was never right. Betrayal crashed over me like ice water. You've been lying to me this whole time? Not lying. Protecting you. And protecting them, until they crossed the line. I stood up so fast the chair scraped. Protecting them? While they destroy me. Mila didn't flinch. I have ethical obligations. But I also have you. And right now they're threatening the woman I love with public humiliation. That changes the math. She opened the laptop again and turned the screen toward me. Spreadsheets. Bank records. Emails. Enough to ruin my father's empire if it ever saw daylight. I can end this tonight, she said. One call to the IRS. Or I can use it as leverage, force them to back off, maybe even accept us. But once I open this door, there's no closing it. People will lose everything. Including possibly me, disbarment, lawsuits, everything I've built. I stared at the evidence that could destroy my family and save us at the same time. The moral weight pressed down until I could barely breathe. What do you want me to do, Brooke? She asked softly. Your call. For the first time since the door slammed behind me, I felt the power shift. And it terrified me. I didn't sleep. I paced the living room until dawn, weighing love against blood, justice against mercy. Mila stayed on the couch, eyes tracking me, giving me space but never leaving.
At sunrise he sat beside her.
Use it. But not to destroy them. Use it to make them listen. One meeting. All of us.
No investigators.
No threats. Just truth. She nodded once. I'll set it up. The meeting happened 4 days later in a neutral conference room downtown, neutral ground, neutral lawyers. My parents arrived first, Dad in his power suit, Mom clutching her pearls like armor. Alex trailed behind, pale. Mila and I entered together. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. Dad spoke first. You brought your friend to a family matter? Mila placed a thick binder on the table. Actually, Mr. Harrison, I'm here as your attorney of record. And as the woman who loves your daughter. Mom gasped. Dad's face went from red to white in seconds. Mila opened the binder. Page after page of their financial sins, redacted just enough to prove she knew everything without handing them the rope to hang her. I have fulfilled every ethical requirement, she said calmly. But your recent actions, harassment, financial sabotage, public defamation, cross into tortious interference and potential criminal exposure. I can make one call and your entire empire collapses by Friday. Silence. The kind that screams, Dad recovered first. You'd betray your client? For her. I'd protect the woman I love from the people who claim to love her, Mila answered. And I'd rather lose my license than lose my integrity, or Brooke. Mom started crying again, but this time the tears looked different, real fear. Alex spoke up. Dad, maybe we've gone too far. I finally found my voice. You disowned me for loving someone. Not for drugs, not for crime, for love. And now you're terrified because that someone holds your secrets. Tell me, Dad, was it ever really about sin? Or was it about control? Dad stared at the binder like it was a loaded gun. What do you want? I want you to stop, I said. Stop the threats. Stop the smears. Let me live my life. And maybe one day, if you can look at Mila and see a person instead of a threat, we can talk about family again. But never again on your terms. Mila closed the binder. The choice is yours. Walk away clean, or I walk these files straight to the authorities. The meeting ended without hugs or apologies. Just a curt nod from my father and a whispered "we'll stop" from my mother. Outside on the sidewalk, Mila took my hand. You did it. You stood up. I squeezed back. We did it. But at what cost? She smiled sadly. The cost of being free. 6 months later, the world looked different. I had a new job at a small marketing firm that didn't care about my last name. Mila had quietly resigned from Harrison Properties the day after the meeting. No fanfare, no scandal. The firm gave her a glowing reference and a hefty severance. Apparently even they didn't want those files seeing daylight. My parents kept their word. No more investigators. No more posts. But the silence between us remained loud. Alex texted sometimes, careful, neutral messages about the weather and the Lakers. Baby steps. Mila and I moved into a bigger place in Echo Park. On the first night we hung a single framed photo on the wall. The two of us on that beach the day everything almost broke us. No family portraits. Not yet. Some nights I still woke up reaching for the phone to call Mom. Some nights Mila stared at her law license on the desk like it weighed more than it used to. We paid the price in different currencies. Mine was loneliness, hers was the quiet fear that one day the files might resurface. But every morning we chose each other again. Last week Alex called. Mom asked about you. Not in a bad way. Just if you're okay. I looked at Mila across the kitchen, chopping vegetables and humming off-key. Tell her I'm more than okay. I'm free. He hesitated. Dad's been different since the meeting. Quieter. Like he's thinking. Maybe thinking is the first step, I said. After we hung up, Mila slid her arms around my waist. No regrets. I turned and kissed her softly. Only that it took losing everything to find what really mattered. We still don't know if my family will ever fully accept us. We still don't know if Mila's ethical tightrope will hold forever. But we know the cost of silence. And we know the price of truth. And we're paying it together. So here's my question for you. When your family demands you choose between their love and your own, was it wrong to pick yourself? Or was their conditional affection the real betrayal that deserved every consequence? Right or wrong, what would you have done?